right, everybody. So that was from Thursday as Don Trump Jr. there with others in Georgia as these numbers continue to be counted. Hi, everyone. Mike Bays here. Thank you so much for joining us here on a very special weekend coverage on this Saturday, Election Day, turning into election night, now election week, and now weekend. We continue to roll on here on News Now from Fox. I'm looking at the other screens here in the newsroom, just seeing if we're getting any other types of updates. Right now, we're still in this holding pattern. We should mention, though, let me bring up, President Trump did tweet about 20 minutes ago, so this was new. So let me bring this into the mix right here for you on News Now from Fox. Let's go right here, everyone. This was from earlier today. Tens of thousands of votes were illegally received after 8 p.m. on Tuesday, Election Day, totally and easily changing the results in Pennsylvania and certain other razor-thin states. As a separate matter, hundreds of thousands of votes were illegally not allowed to be observed. This would also change the election result in numerous states, including Pennsylvania, which everyone thought was easily won on election night, only to see a massive lead disappear without anyone being allowed to observe for long intervals of time. What the happened, he says. Bad things took place during those hours where legal transparency was viciously and crudely not allowed. Tractors blocked doors and windows were covered with thick cardboard so that observers could not see into the count rooms. Bad things happened inside. Big changes took place there. So President Trump talking about what he believes is fraud in the system, not only in the system, but fraud in many states there, especially these battleground states that we are still waiting on results here. If you remember, let's go back in time to Tuesday. I know that seems like more than a couple of weeks ago, but it was only on Tuesday was the election day. Going into election night, you had President Trump winning Florida, winning Ohio, and really the only battleground state that he didn't win because it was called by Fox News was Arizona. So going into the evening and into the morning, remember, President Trump speaks about 2 a.m. Eastern on that Wednesday. He's leading in Wisconsin. He's leading in Michigan. He's leading in Pennsylvania. He's still leading in North Carolina. We wake up in the morning, and now it seems like the president is shrinking in Wisconsin, shrinking in Michigan, also in Pennsylvania. And then later in the day in Michigan and Wisconsin, he does, in fact, lose those leads that he had. Then they are called in Joe Biden's favor. Let's continue on during the week then, as President Trump at one point had a 700,000 vote lead in Pennsylvania. Each day, that continued to shrink. And now, Joe Biden has about a 35,000 lead count in Pennsylvania. So that is what the president is talking about. Also, you got to remember, months leading up to this election, President Trump warned about mail-in voting and just how it would be open up to fraud cases, and it would be also just delay the system and bog down the system. What do we have here now? We have a bogged down system. We have a delayed system because we have states we don't know the answer to. That's where we're at right now. That's why election day is turned into election night, election week, election weekend. That's where we're at right now. But what will happen? All signs right now point to Joe Biden taking that 270. Could it be a possibility, though, that he gets above 270 and then as the investigations continue, maybe some court cases are going to lead into Trump's favor more, into the president's favor? Could he have like a 275 Joe Biden and then, you know what, they gotta take out votes because they weren't counted properly or they were counted after the fact that they should have been received? This could be a 2020 to remember in so many ways. Obviously, we know it's going to be one to remember because of the pandemic and just the strange year that we've all had. But what happens if Joe Biden does get to 270, 275, and then they clawed that back there. Now, just a reminder, everyone, a lot of people think, oh, as soon as a news media outlet calls it for Joe Biden to be president-elect, that it's like over. Well, it doesn't matter. A news station could do whatever they like. They could call it right now for Joe, and it wouldn't matter. He would be president-elect, I guess, in their theory. But it's not going to happen until December 14th. That is when the states certify, and they just really go state by state there to Congress and let them know that, yes, he does have the amount of votes there. So this is where we're at right now, and just this holding pattern. We're going to have about 5 weeks potentially of this if President Trump keeps pushing the issue of legal challenges in those states. Now remember, in 2000, there was legal challenges for about 37 days until the Supreme Court took it and said, you know what, the voting has to, the counting has to stop. And then George W. Bush became president-elect there. So could this be another 2000? I think it's going to go that way. It seems like it's going that way. And the strange thing about this one is 2000, it was just one state, Florida. This state, we're going to have legal challenges on multiple states. We could have recounts in multiple states. It looks like it's going to be Wisconsin and Georgia at this moment. We'll wait and see if more are going to be in the mix. We'll see how Pennsylvania, whenever they're done counting, and it doesn't look like they're counting much today here. Here's a look in Philadelphia. Yeah, it doesn't look like any counting is happening right now, and we're talking about almost 9 a.m. Eastern here. So will we know anything today? That's up in the air. But stay right here with us on News Now from Fox. We'll see if there's going to be some news conferences coming down the pipe here in a little bit. We know Arizona is going to be scheduled one at about 2 p.m. Eastern from the GOP side. Arizona GOP officials are talking about the results that continue to come in drip by drip in Arizona and other states there. We'll wait and see if we get any update out of Clark County in Nevada, and then also in Georgia as well.